Okay, hello and welcome to another Camel Sump Middle School video tutorial. In this episode, I'm going to be speaking specifically to my 6th graders as we prepare to export a file out of Gravit Designer and prepare it for the next step, which is getting ready for the laser software. So this screen right here should be very familiar to all of you. Your graphic design should be composed of essentially two things. You're going to have some kind of imagery, a combination of text, shapes, images, whatever, kind of centrally located in your object, and then you're going to have a singular line outlining your whole collection of images. And what you need to start imagining as a designer is the fact that anything that's outside of this line, for example this space and this space, is waste. That will get put in the trash can essentially when this project is over. Everything on the inside of your line, that's where your project is, and everything that's black is going to be engraved. Everything that's white remains crystal clear acrylic plexiglass, and this line signifies where the laser will be cutting as opposed to engraving. Okay, so you can start using your mind's eye to imagine, well, if it cuts all of this off, this whole section, well, as a matter of fact, everything outside the line is now waste. So before you proceed, make sure that you are satisfied with what you've designed and you can imagine it actually coming to life. For example, this right here has a nice flat bottom to it. This is going to plug into my wooden base very nicely. If you're still looking at a shape that has really a lack of a flat bottom, even if it's like an animal and you have legs coming down, we want all of those legs to either be at the same height or something so that when we join this cut out piece of plastic into our wooden base, it's got somewhere to sit. Okay, so that much is true already. You know all of that already. Now it's time to actually process this thing and get it out of here. Okay, you're going to notice that my page is set to 140 by 110, and that is millimeters. That is correct. Okay, if yours says anything different than that, change it. All right, so your 140 might be over here in your height and your 110 might be over here in width, but you need these two numbers here. You also need this to say millimeters. All right, okay, so first click of the day, bring on down. We're going to come down to DPI right here, dots per inch. We're going to change 72 to 300. Okay, first click complete. Good job. All right, next thing we're going to do is these two shapes right here, independent of one another. The line and your image are still two unique shapes. We need to group those. This is a Tinkercad term. This should be familiar. We're going to bring our mouse up here into the upper left. Click, drag with your left button around the whole shape. Select both of them. Come up here and group. Good. Next, with your grouped object still selected, we're now going to change its size, and we're going to make it massive. The idea here, you guys, is we're going to export a really big file, like literally like 3 feet across. We're going to import a really big file into Boss Laser, and then we're going to shrink it down in Boss Laser. And the idea is that as we shrink it down, we're going to increase the quality. Okay? So what we're going to do here is we want to increase this image right here, and you're going to notice that once I have it clicked, I've got its size numbers over here. Okay, so right now my image is 135.43 by 93.49. Okay, I'm going to choose the bigger of those two numbers. So for me, it's going to be this one right here, and I'm going to change that to 1,000. Holy smokes, you're saying that's huge. It's true, it is. And you're going to have some results here that might surprise you. Just hang on tight, okay? Before you do any of this, it's important that this button right here is clicked. If that is not clicked, you're going to be changing this one, and then this one will not respond. If this is clicked and I change this, this one will adjust itself automatically. So make sure that's clicked. Change this one to 1,000. Hit enter. And all of a sudden, your image is way off your canvas. Do not worry. Do not try to scroll or move around or find your object. It's not time for that yet. Don't worry, okay? Now, all I've done is changed 1,000 right here. You're going to notice that it automatically changed this one to 690.31. That's great. Okay, so do a single click away from your object. Okay, so notice that my object is no longer selected. Okay? Now, what I want to do now is I want to come over here, and I don't see my image here, and I'm not worried about that. I don't want you to be worried about that either. What I need to do now is I'm going to use this tool right here, which is called Trim Canvas. And what Trim Canvas does is it identifies where you have your work, and it trims the canvas specifically around your work. Now, your work is like floating down here in outer space right now. But when I click this, you're going to notice my canvas gets a little bigger. And then when I center my canvas, there's my work again. I'm going to zoom out a little bit, and you're going to notice that because I trimmed my canvas, the outer edges of that cut line are defining now the edge of my canvas. Okay? All right. So now it's time to export. We're almost done. You guys are rock stars. Here we go. Time to export. Okay, so double checking that one of my widths or my heights is 1,000. Now it's 1,001.06. I can live with that. That's okay. All right. Unit is still millimeters. DPI is still 300. All of that looks great. Time to export. I'm going to come up here to File, Export, come down into the submenu here, and we are looking for PNG. PNG. This is important, you guys. Choose the right one. PNG. And once I click that, you're going to notice that it drops down into my downloads bar on my Google Chrome browser. Once you see this here with your file name right there, you are ready for tutorial number 2. Congratulations.